Welcome back, my friends, for another fun reloading video. Today we're just going to be shooting the breeze here and sizing up some bullets for some upcoming projects and ongoing projects, and just for having them around because aren't they pretty? Why would you not want more of them? Anyways, this is what I had cast up over the weekend here in the red, ruby red from Eastwood, the Lee 358-200 RN. No, flat nose, not round nose, it's flat nose. Here we have the new to me at least, M&P 359125 hollow point mold. This is my first time ever using a hollow point mold. My first time using any mold that wasn't aluminum. A whole lot of firsts for me, but I think they actually turned out pretty well. So we'll take a look at them closer here in a bit. And then over here we have my new attempt at the Lee 225-55. And we have some harder alloy here sent in from MCK. So thanks, Brother Mark. We're going to be testing out some linotype and seeing if we can't get that under control. So these are once powder coated and as cast so far. And right now they're looking like right at 360. I'm going to size maybe 50 or 100 of these to 358 to have on hand for the 35 Remington. And then the rest are going to be 356. And they're going into the 350 Legend. And then here in the center, once powder coated, we have blue, the Eastwood Ford blue, and also a green from Prismatic Powders. But these are coming out right at 360, maybe 359. So again, we're going to size a handful of them down to 358, and then the rest at 356 for 9mm. These are range scrap, air-cooled, and then powder-coated and air-cooled, while these were the same alloy, however they were quenched after casting and then after the powder coating. So we're going to have to see how those perform. We have the softest configuration you can achieve, and then the hardest configuration. And then here, with our 225-55, we're coming out at 227, and these are actually 52 grains, I do believe. We'll take a look at all of them here in just a second. But we're going to size these to 225 for the AR-15. No gas checks, because, you know, that would increase our price, and that's the whole point of this round, is to just shoot it as cheaply as possible. As long as I can plink inside of 100 yards and hit the steel, play around, stuff like that, then it's all good. All right, so we're just going to we're going to weigh 5 of them at random and just kind of see what our average is. 205.9. And these were, again, range scrap and quenched after casting and after powder coating. 205.2. 205.2. So those two were identical. 206.2. We have a swing of 1 grain so far. And I'm going to admit some of these bases aren't the best. As you can see, we're probably missing a half a grain worth of lead in the base there, which is, you know, where all of your accuracy comes from. But, you know, these are mostly plinkers, you know, just practice, all that fun stuff. So I'm not super worried about top performance. I'm not hunting with this or anything. Again, most of these are going to be for plinking at steel, except this guy. We're going to have to do some testing with it. Speaking of this guy, let's see what these weigh. 136.6, 136.9, 136.7. Wow, these are incredibly consistent. 136.6. 136.4, yeah. And all these bases are not perfect. Once again, you can see not the greatest, but some of them are better than others. Let's see what the blue ones weigh. 136.7. 137, 136.4, 137. So the blue ones are just a tad heavier. I think that's because the blue sticks a little better, and maybe there's, you know, 3/10 of a grain in there somewhere. But these have full coverage as well, so although the pigment is not everywhere. You can see the gloss clearly showing that we've been fully coated. So who knows? And we can also note I use the deep hollow point here, and there's also a pentapoint, which is a little more shallow, so it's less deep. I'm not certain what the effect is going to be there. Maybe some of you more experienced guys can, fill us in on the differences between the hollow points. But we also have a plain flat nose pin set as well, so we can fill these up and just make them solid. They'll probably come out around 140 at that point. I'm only guessing about, filling in that hole full of lead might weigh a couple grains at least. Anyways, these are our 225 55s. And again, these were lino type, so they're going to come out lighter. Harder alloy generally weighs less than its pure lead counterpart. So 50.9, 51.9. Okay, we've already got a grain swing in here. 51.1, 52.2, 51.2, 51.7, 51.5, 51.2. Yeah, you get the point. Anywhere from maybe 50.5 was our low one, I think, to 52 was our high. So although these are our smallest, they seem to have the largest swing in their weights. And I'm not certain why. Probably the powder coating, perhaps. Some of them stuck a little worse than others, so they're missing spots here and there. But as long as we cover these driving bands, that's really all we need to end up powder coating. And the rest of it is just cosmetics. This one was just mixing the ruby red with the Ford blue, and then there was a bit of leftover green inside the container before that. So I don't know if that helps it purple or what, but that's how we got this purpley color. That's fun, right? So we're here at the press. These are the 50. I'm going to size to 358. And I checked one. They are right on the money. So that's good. As you can see, though, this doesn't take any time at all, though. Wonder how quick you could go on an APP. I'm sure some of you could inform me on that, but I don't have the room for that right now. And I have other equipment priorities. That would be way ahead of just speeding up a process that I could already complete. So, budgeting and such, and priorities, and so we're on our last few here. As you can see, this just flies by. And I'll have 50 here to test out in the 35 Remington, which should be a lot of fun. Perfect. That's exactly 358. And while we're here at the 358 sizer, we're going to go ahead and push these 50 through. I pulled out some blue ones just so I can visually verify that they're different. But I'll just do these 50 here to test out in the Magnum or 38 Special. These are sizing really easy. Not sure how accurate they'll be for 358 cartridges, but we'll see. That's why I'm only doing a few. The rest will squish down to 356. And we'll inspect the nose of these here when we're done and see if they get squished at all, getting run through the sizer. I don't see anything right now through the little red container, but who's to say that I'm not blind? So just our last few here, and then we're going to get a couple measurements and set these aside to test in the 357. Woo. Yeah, 358. Beautiful. So we'll test these here and see how those do. And now on to some 356. So now we have our 356 sizer in here. And these are going to be for the 350 Legend. Oh, that's a little tighter. It's a little tighter, not too bad. Let's have a look here. Yeah, you can see the nice smooth spots where it's been sized. There's a lot of surface there. Very nice. And we are right at 356, just under it maybe. Depends how my calipers are feeling at that specific time. Let's try the next one. Oh yes, 356. And that one's just perfect, 356 on the dot. And again, these have a ton of surface area. You can see where it's been smoothed out and sized there. And all that's going to be engaging our rifling and creating a seal. When it obturates to the barrel, it's all good stuff. We got a bunch of these to knock out though. And then we got a lot of testing to find a good plinking round that we can be light on our brass with, but still have accuracy out at, 100 up to 200 perhaps. You can see I'm trying to grab here to remove the piece of brass that I just sized, but dummy, we're sizing projectiles right now. It's a different operation. You push it through. I've seen some people use lube on their bullets, just a little of the Imperial wax or maybe the Unique from Hornady or whatever. It might work, it might help, but then I'd have gooey, sticky bullets, which I know wouldn't affect anything at all. But I feel like the powder coating is slick enough. Nothing is grinding or we're not removing anything. So you can see this random one we just did. It's not pushing the powder coat off of it, it's just smoothing it out. And we are right at 356 as prescribed. So I don't feel the need to size these, even though we are going down about, 4 thousandths. It's a little tight, but not horrible. I could go from 358 and then to 356, but that's a whole lot of press moving. And that'd be like twice as many repetitions. So screw that. So we've got all of these at 356. Let's just make sure our die wasn't lying to us earlier. 356. 356. I probably should open these up just a little bit. Probably all of my sizing dies I should open up about a 0.5 thousandths. But there's 356 as well. Beautiful. At least it's consistent, right? On to the hollow points now. So here's our hollow point mold, the brand new to me, MP358125. Thanks again so much, anonymous user. I really appreciate it. This thing is the bee's knees. As soon as I got it up to the proper temperature and my pins going, it ran so smooth, I was just knocking them out. And, these hollow points, I've never done this before, but that looks pretty good to me. Some people say you'll get like a snag and it'll kind of sag over to one side. But I didn't see any of that from my experience. Maybe a little booger from landing on the towel. But I tried to drop them from pretty low and they were just air cooled. So these are going to be fairly soft, hopefully, whatever my range scrap turns out to be. We had pretty consistent bases, and overall, I'm super excited to try these. Very awesome. I'm going to try the pentapoints, and then I'm also going to try the flat noses, and we'll just have to compare all of them, both for accuracy and grouping and velocities, because they're gonna vary slightly in weight. Probably not enough to matter, but we'll see. So I said they were going through easy as on the 358 sizer. They're also pretty easy going at 356. So we'll have to measure them, take a look at the hollow points and see if we're getting any deformations at all. But it's not taking a whole lot of pressure, so I'm not too worried about the hollow point getting deformed or anything on top. And we'll see here in a little bit. So we got a couple sticking out the top here, so we'll just measure some of these. I don't see much, if any, deformation on the nose, or the hollow point rather. I think we're good to go as far as the noses. And we just have a few left here. Again, no damages to the hollow point. And they're coming out right at 356, just like we expect. And there we go, that's all of those. So we're all sized up here. Let's just check a few here at random. And there's a 356 for you. There's a 356 for you. 355, yeah. Cool. Everything is going just as expected here. And now we've got a nice little pile to start testing with. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And I still have the other two styles of pins to test along with it. So dang, son, we got work to do. So last here is our 22555 minus 1. They're actually coming out at right under 52 grains. And they were showing up at about 227 as cast. So let's knock out a few here and then see what they come out of the sizer at. These tiny little turds are so small, I can't keep a hold of them no good. There we go. Just gotta have it orientated and put it up near the top so you have less travel. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there we go. These are feeling a little tough, but these do have a decent amount of surface area. But I will not be gas checking them. I do have several different patterns to try for this, although I've started with H335. I want to continue that. My gun starts to lose function right under 18 grains. So I might start at like 18.2 and then go up in 3/10 or half grain increments. See if we find any accuracy in there and kind of go from there. We're almost pretty much starting over, aside from just knowing where the gun can function. So it should be fun. I haven't shot a whole lot of 223 lately, although I have a whole bunch of 55s and 62 grains to play with, and some 62 grain soft points that I haven't even touched. I actually want to try it. I want to try them out real good like. Okay, we got a few coming out here. Let's see. Crappy calipers. They're definitely not 222. I can tell you that. All right, these are 2245 maybe. Right under 225. Let's try another. Yeah, that one's just under as well. 2245. There's 225. Dropping it for the third time. Let's try this again. And our third one there, 225 as well. So that's just perfect. And we just have a couple left here before we finish them all up. And it doesn't ever seem like you have a lot of these, but they're so much smaller than the others that they take up a lot less room, and I probably have more of these than the other two combined. So it takes a little longer, a couple more reps, but nothing too bad. Well, there we go, folks. That was super exciting. We've got our 358-200s at 356 for the Legend. Some at 358 here. Oh yeah, some at 358 for the 35 Remington. Maybe the 357 Magnum. We'll have to see if I can find some data for that. Here we have our 9mm sized MP 359-125. These are 356, again for the 9mm. We have 50 of them at 358, again for the 38 or 357. And I might even try some of these in the Legend, but not with this alloy. This is really soft. I let it cool room temp, and then after powder coating, again, air cooled. No quenching. I can stick my thumbnail, you know, dig a little spot into it. It's pretty soft stuff, but we're gonna have some fun with it in the 9mm. And lastly, the Lee 225-55. These actually came out at 52 grains with our alloy, which is supposed to be linotype. I need to actually get a set of pencils to test all the hardnesses, but hopefully we'll have some higher success in our 223 with these. They came out at 52 grains, so they're a little bit lighter, so it'll be even more difficult to keep them slower, but we're gonna see what kind of minimum charges we can get to cycle, and then we're gonna see if we can find some accuracy. Should be a pretty fun little project to get back into, so I'm excited for that. Thanks again to MCK for sending me a couple ingots of that linotype. Super appreciated, brother. Well, there you go, folks. Just some sizing, some bullets, and me rambling a little bit. Maybe we'll get to some of these projects here soon. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Make sure to go and check me out over on Instagram, where you can get cool close-up pictures and all that fun stuff of the projects I am working on. That's Dummy Round Official. And thanks for hanging out, folks. Stay tuned for more. We will see you in the next video. Have a good one.